my shield, and he in whom I trust.
Hey guys, thanks for joining me again, and today we're going to adjust our eye relief before we install the scope. And you want to take your time on adjusting your eye relief because you don't want to have to do the process all over again after you got everything mounted and you go out at the range and you start shooting. Then you find yourself adjusting your head, trying to get your scope to clear up. That means your eye relief is wrong. Then you have to do the process all over again if you've lapped them. So I went ahead and put on my rings, I put on my scope, and I got a basic idea of where it needs to be positioned at. It took me probably about 30 minutes, and I can't do that all on video, but all I did was basically put everything on very loosely, and then I rest my head on my cheek rest here, just get in the position that I would be when I'm shooting. A comfortable position, and do it with your eyes closed. You want to set this to the maximum magnification because that's when your eye is closest to your lens here. And that's the, how should I say this? You have the least amount of travel room to get a clear shot. So if that's clear and you zoom or you put your magnification all the way down, then you shouldn't have any problem. But if you have it at the maximum magnification and that's clear and set, then you shouldn't have a problem. That should be your proper eye relief there. So typically you want to do this in the prone position. I know a lot of people do it in the position that they're shooting most. In the prone position, that's when your eye is closest. So you do it how you would like. And honestly, I don't think it makes that big of a difference, but I'm going to go ahead and adjust it. Just basically, a bench like this is where I would usually be shooting. So let's get started. So anyway, I put everything very loose. Just a note before I do this, when I say very loose, you want to make sure it's kind of snug, because what I found, I wasn't getting a good image, and it was inconsistent. I found that the scope was wiggling around because it was too loose. So just snug but able to slide. So this is my position. I'm most comfortable here. This is where I want to shoot, just like this. Trigger's good. Everything feels okay. So I want to open my eyes. And so right now, it is not clear. I mean, actually, what I need to adjust first is the height. I'm a little high here. So let's bring our cheek rest down. There, now we're clear. Now let's see, how far can I go down before it starts darkening again? So now it's starting to darken. I had about 4 clicks. 2, 3, 4, 5, it's darkening. So we want to go 2.5 clicks down, basically. Let's see how many clicks down I have from here. That was 3 clicks. Okay, so I'm going to go 2 clicks down. So right now, it's perfect. Now I'm going to slide my head forward and back. So it's perfectly clear. I'm not having any shadows, no crescenting. So I'm at the perfect position here. Now, I'm just going to step away from my gun and we'll do it again. So if I'm, just to show you, if I'm moving this back and forth, you can see you get shadowing. It's hard to do this through a camera because the camera actually adjusts But you can see crecenting, that's crecenting there. You don't want crecenting. You want to make sure all your edges all the way around are clear. Now what you're seeing here, the camera's adjusting for the bright background, and that's why it's doing that. Okay, we were pretty clear. Let's go down 2 notches. Okay, that was clear. Perfect. Now I have it absolutely clear. I see all the edges, no shadowing, no vignetting. I have some vignetting when I go slightly forward. I can go all the way back here with no vignetting. So, I'm going to bring our scope just a little bit forward. No vignetting, no vignetting. So we could probably we're hitting our block there. We have to come back a little bit. And let's go back on our buttstock. Just a hair. Where are we at? No, we're going the wrong way there. That was 2 clicks. So we're back to normal. A couple clicks back. That should be it. Perfect. No vignetting. No vignetting. Nothing. Okay, perfect. It's absolutely clear, and if I move my head back and forth, it stays clear. We're on the maximum magnification. Okay, so that's the position I want there. I did this earlier, and I found that I could bring my rings apart one space. So typically you want these as far apart as possible, because that's the more far apart they are, the more strength they'll have. If you have them too close together, it has a more probability of being able to twist. So we have our scope in our perfect position. I'm going to go ahead and take some tape, and just I'm going to mark it. I'm going to put it right at the edge there. I don't want to lose this position. It's actually a very good position there. You know, actually on my lapua I gotta redo this because my eye relief is way off. Okay, there is my eye relief, there's my tape. I went ahead and marked it with tape. This is my perfect position. Now when I originally did this, I basically got to this step, except I found I was able to bring this ring forward 1 notch. Typically you want to be able to have your rings as far apart as possible. So in that case it maximizes the strength and any kind of twisting, especially on a high caliber rifle. Now I went ahead and made sure in the front with my sunshade here that we have adequate spacing. So we have about 1.5 millimeters there. Now, like I said in the beginning of the video, I think I did, I took this rail off and actually flipped this around. It's just because it wasn't really impeding it wasn't showing up when looking through my scope. It was just impeding, you know, its ability to move back and forth. I don't use a front scope rail anyway, so I just took it off. Anybody else would have probably put some high rings on this, but I like my scope really low. All right, so we got our position of our scope. Let's go ahead and start mounting it. At this point, I'm going to tighten these. And then I'm going to take my tops off there, take the scope off, and we're going to check the alignment with these alignment bars there. I just got these by Wheeler. The only company that had 34mm before was Copelli, but Wheeler makes them now, which is cool. Anyway, thanks for watching my video. Please join me when we're gonna go ahead and mount this thing, and we'll be done with this rifle finally. And then we'll go ahead and take it out and test shoot it. Have a good day.